When a DNA does not tell the entire truth, yes, or when a DNA lies, it's called chimerism. But what is this chimerism and what is its relation to DNA paternity, and where does the lie come about? Let's start with chimerism. Chimerism is a Greek word that we used to refer to a monster that had the head of a lion, the body of a goat, and the tail of a snake. So they called it a chimera. Very nice. So let's understand how this chimerism happens and how it affects your DNA. Remember, DNA is just 35,000 at our lab, all right? The number is right here. So very nice. So let's start. So chimerism is having two sets or more set of genetically different set of DNA in their body, right? You're having two sets of DNAs. Very nice. So let's say this is Kamau and this is Joroge. So you have, as an individual, you have two sets of different genetic materials, right? Listen again, okay? Chimerism, having two set or more set of genetically different sets of DNA in their body. And you're wondering, see, someone is supposed to have the same genetic information. Why? Because if your father gave you 23, your mother gave you 23, that's the same genetic information. So I want to show you how you can have two different sets of genetic information. Very nice. So the first one is called tetragrammatic chimerism. This was supposed to come from the word gametes, right? So two fertilized eggs. Listen here. Two fertilized eggs. So two fertilized egg means what? A sperm and an ovum have come together. So now two sets of fertilized egg fused together, fraternal twins. So what does fraternal twin mean? Fraternal twins mean where you're having twins from a twin from a different sperm, another twin from a different sperm. Now, when they fuse together in the womb, so they are giving you two sets of different DNA. Sijui kama unaelewa hapo. I don't know if you are understanding that concept. Two fertilized egg forms a what? A zygote, ama an embryo. But it's the same thing. Two fertilized egg forms a zygote that fuses together in the womb to form one individual. Yes, it can happen. So other than, you see, they have been fertilized differently. Two eggs have been fertilized differently, so it means those are twins. But now, they decide, you know what? Let us fuse together. Okay? Let us fuse together in the womb. So that is a set of two different DNAs. And now that forms tetragrammatic chimerism. So what do we say chimerism is? Chimerism is having two set or more of genetically different set of DNA in their body. So that is happening in your womb. Are we together? So if we go to test for your DNA, the DNA that we find in your sperms might not be the one we find in your cheek. You see? So if we collect buccal swabs and we test them against your son, it turns out, well, you are not the father, because that is a different set of DNA. Are we together? We also test another one from let's say your blood, and we find, hey, you are not the father. Are we together? So that is tetragrammatic chimerism. Two fertilized eggs fused together, all right, to form fraternal twins in the womb. No, to form. The concept is fraternal, but you end up with one child because they are fusing together. So let's talk about microchimerism. Okay, microchimerism, small numbers of cells from another individual. This one is from the mother and the child. If there is going to be exchanges, they are going to persist in the body of either the mother or that of the child. Right? That is microchimerism. Twin chimerism, in case of fraternal twin cell, may be exchanged by a shared placenta. Fraternal twins do not share placenta, but when that would happen, let's say those placenta pieces together. Now, they are going to be mixture of blood and tissues. That one is going, when we do DNA, is going to affect our DNA report. Let's talk about artificial chimerism. Artificial chimerism might run you into jail. Let me explain how. So artificial chimerism, or what we call iatrogenic chimerism, okay? A person carries two sets of DNAs, right? DNA. They originate from donor tissue and donor's DNA in their blood. Let me give you an example. So you see, let's say you're having sickle cell anemia, or you're having leukemia, right? And then you are given bone marrow. Why are you being given bone marrow transplant? Bone marrow transplant, it is from your bone marrow that blood cells are formed. Example of blood cells are what? Red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. So if we were going to check, we collect the samples from the child, we collect blood from the child and that blood of the father, they will not, the DNA will tell us you are not the father. Why? Because there was a bone marrow transplant, you acquired genetic materials. Okay, because see, that blood cell is a cell. So if we pick those cells and we pick your blood and we compare them together, we find out you are not the father. Why? Because your child got, or you yourself, you got bone marrow transplant. So when you check them together, you end up that person, that individual is not the father, because there was a donor cells that were given. Okay, how chimerism affects DNA? Number one, if the parent is a chimera, reproductive cells or egg might carry different DNA from body or chick. That's what I'm saying. Eh? If we pick your blood, it has different genetic materials. If we pick your chick, it has different genetic materials. That is going to give us a false DNA report. So that causes false accusation. Okay, how can we solve this? Since you're a chimera, we should collect multiple tissue samples. Okay, from your blood, your hair, your buccal swab, your semen of the parent. Okay, and then we do a whole genome sequencing to detect mixed DNA population. Okay, that's how chimerism occurs. I know this information might excite some women, because they might say, "Oh, you are not the father because you are a chimera. We should repeat." Yes, repeat that DNA. Yes, get a second opinion from somewhere else. Okay, if you are a woman and you believe that you did not sleep with someone else, and the DNA report has come and said that he is not the father to your child, okay? Go again, repeat the DNA sample, take blood, take hair, take buccal swab, just take as much samples as you need, compare that against your child, all right? And that might give you a good information, right? Yes, so that is how we could solve this problem of chimerism. Tuko pamoja? So that is chimerism and how it can affect DNA reporting. My name is Peter Gomba. We do DNAs at 35,000. That is the father and the child, okay? We also do between an uncle and a niece or nephew, auntie, the same way. We also do grandparentage between a grandparent and a grandchild. We also do brother and sister. So, sawa. This is my number right here, 0740 250 696.